Welcome to Your Wish Fulfilled. This is your magical podcast to come into the feeling that you've already attained everything you want right now. And in this series, we're going through The Law of Success, a magical book by the Indian mystic Paramhansa Yogananda. And today we're focused on the power of thought. Before we get into that, let's just take a moment for you to hold the vision of what you'd love to create in your life. Let's take a few beautiful breaths together and just open your heart and your mind. Allow yourself to move into a future reality. Imagine you can time travel and you go into the future where everything is exactly the way that you love it to be. You have the health, wealth, happiness, peace that you desire. And just notice what is new and different, what is blessed. Everything is okay, everything's wonderful. And notice how you feel having attained everything you want. How would you feel? And just breathe into that wonderful feeling. It could be subtle, it could be powerful. Just allow yourself the opportunity to come into the feeling. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And stay with that feeling and keep breathing into that as we move into our session today. The power of thought. You demonstrate success or failure according to your habitual trend of thought. In you, which is stronger, success thoughts or failure thoughts? If your mind is ordinarily in a negative state, an occasional positive thought is not sufficient to attract success. But if you think rightly, you will find your goal even though you seem to be enveloped in darkness. You alone are responsible for yourself. No one else may answer for your deeds when the final reckoning comes. Your work in the world, in the sphere where your karma, your own past actions, has placed you, can be performed only by one person, yourself. And your work can be called success only when in some way it serves your fellow man. Don't mentally review any problem consistently. Let it rest at times and it will work itself out. But see that you do not rest so long that your discrimination is lost. Rather, use these rest periods to go deep within the calm region of your inner self. Attuned with your soul, you will be able to think correctly regarding everything you do. And if your thoughts and actions have gone astray, they can be realigned. This power of divine attunement can be achieved by practice and effort. So let's dive into this. You demonstrate success or failure according to your habitual trend of thought. That's a very powerful statement. We create success or failure according to the thoughts we have. In you, just tune into your mind, in yourself, which is stronger, success thoughts or failure thoughts? Just take a moment to think about your thinking. If you just bring your mind back, let's say to the last month, on the whole, what is dominant in your mind? Are you thinking about success, what you want, feeling good, giving thanks, holding the vision of what you want? Loving yourself, reminding yourself of how wonderful you are, how grateful you are, and giving blessings to people. These are all powerful thoughts. We can talk more about that. Or is the mind mostly focused on what you don't want, what's wrong with you, what's wrong with the world, what's wrong with other people, what you don't like, what you're worried about, what you're stressed about, what you're fearful about, what you're anxious about, what you're angry about, what's not fair, what's not right, what you don't appreciate about something or somewhere or whatever it is, having opinions about random people and things and why things aren't the way you like them. Like, which is bigger overall? If you were to create a book of thoughts, imagine your thoughts were to be downloaded into a spreadsheet and then they was printed out, right? And you have one pile which is negative thoughts and another pile powerful thoughts. Which one would be bigger? Which pile? And if it's negative, it can be changed. That's the thing. If it's positive, that's great. You can do even more, right? We need to really be honest about this. If your mind is ordinarily in a negative state, an occasional positive thought is not sufficient to attract success, right? So if we have a huge stack of negative thoughts and then a few positive thoughts here and there, it's not going to work. But if you think rightly, you will find your goal even though you seem to be enveloped in darkness. Right? So even if we're in a terrible situation, everything's going horribly wrong, our thinking eventually will turn things around. So it's not about having the perfect situation first and then thinking good thoughts. The good thoughts cause the positive outcomes, not the other way around. I just want to give you a tip here, something I personally practice. If you are having negative thoughts, we all have negative thoughts. What I personally like to do is I like to think repeatedly. I sometimes do this for hours and hours. I get up early in the morning. By the way, the first thoughts you have during the day are the most important thoughts of the day. So before you go to sleep, in order to have good thoughts in the morning, before you go to sleep, just think to yourself, for example, I am a powerful soul. I am a powerful soul. I'm a powerful soul. Really feel it, or I'm held in light, or I'm loved and safe. Choose whichever thoughts are going to be the most powerful. I have a book on this called Divine Affirmation Mantras, which you can get on Amazon if you want. It's just a little book. Divine Affirmation Mantras. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, I think it might be called. It's a very powerful book, and you don't need to get the book if you don't want to, but you can definitely get a lot of ideas from it. But you probably have ideas in your mind. So just choose a thought. I am a powerful soul is a really good place to start, because it's basically focusing on the fact that you are in control and you have power, and coming into the feeling of power, which is the solution to weak thoughts. I'm a powerful soul. I'm a powerful soul. And then you'll fall asleep. And then when you wake up, think those thoughts again. I am an embodiment of peace. I am a powerful soul. Success is guaranteed. And just keep going with these mantras, these thoughts, over and over and over and over again, because the only way to overcome negative thoughts is by having powerful thoughts. There's no other way of doing it. We're either having negative thoughts or wasteful thoughts, or we're having powerful, impactful thoughts, right? There's different categories of thoughts, and whichever one we're thinking more and more and more, giving more energy, that's the one that, of course, that dominates our consciousness. So if you're having a hard time, I recommend writing down like 3 to 5 mantras or powerful thoughts that you feel good about. And remember, these thoughts you pick should be ones that you like, because everyone's a bit different. You might not like powerful soul. You might prefer I am an embodiment of peace. You might like to think everything is working out. You might like to think, what if I had attained everything? How would I feel? There's so many thoughts you could have. And so out of all of those options, pick the ones that you resonate with, because you're more likely to think them. You alone are responsible for yourself. No one else may answer for your deeds when the final reckoning comes, because we are the creators of our own life. Your work in the world, in the sphere where your karma, your own past actions has placed you, can be performed only by one person, yourself. Right? So we've ended up in this situation based on our karma, and who is responsible to take action now from wherever we are? We are, aren't we? I'm responsible for my life, you're responsible for your life. And then he goes deeper, and your work can only be called a success when, in some way, it serves your fellow man, other people. So in other words, wherever we are in our life, we're responsible for it, and success is only possible when we are also serving others, right? If we live only for our own personal pleasures, we actually won't be very happy after a while, right? We won't really be successful. Success comes from serving others. And there's a number of reasons for this. The first reason is that we get happiness by helping other people in a genuine way. So just internally we feel good. But also, in a very practical way, the more you help other people, karmically, the more they want to help you. Right? It's just practical. For example, if you've ever bought anything on Amazon, I'm sure you have, or bought anything anywhere, right? Whether it's a shop or a course or a program or a coach or whatever you've done, they gave you something and you gave them money, right? we do this all the time, exchanging goods and services, right? So if someone never gives anything to anyone, they never offer anything, they never do anything, they're not going to receive anything. Now, some things are exchanges of services, it's very direct, but other things is more subtle. It's more, you like your friends and family, they're not charging you, you're not charging them, right? You show up, you talk to people, you do things for them, there's no money involved. But if you show up for someone else and you help them at a time of need and you do things in a sincere way, you will get the karmic return of other people wanting to take care of you down the road, right? So success is only possible when in some way it serves others. Don't mentally review any problem constantly. This is a very powerful thought. So let's say we have a problem. We're not denying that we have a problem. Let's say you have a money problem, or you have a health problem, or you have a relationship problem. We're not saying, let's just ignore that and pretend it's not happening. That's called spiritual bypassing. But we don't want to constantly think about it, because that's all negative thoughts and it'll pull us down. We want to find a solution. We want to think about it in terms of what is the solution, what is the solution, what is the solution, rather than what is the problem. So don't review any problem constantly. Let it rest at times, and it may work itself out if you just let go, let go, let go, let go. But see that you do not rest so long that your discrimination is lost. In other words, don't ignore problems in your life so long that you stop seeing what you're dealing with and they get worse. Rather, use these rest periods to go deep within the calm region of your inner self, attuned with your soul. You will be able to think correctly regarding everything you do. And if your thoughts or actions have gone astray, they can be realigned because you're in that deeper space. This power of divine attunement can be achieved by practice and effort. So this is a very powerful lesson. We need to have mostly powerful thoughts, if not entirely, at least majority. We also need to focus on helping others in some way. How can we be of service? If we have problems, we can notice what they are. We're not in denial, and we can say, what is the solution to this? And we'll find that solution by going deep into our soul, which is why meditation is so powerful. Just to, at various times, just say, I'm not going to think about anything at all right now. I'm just going to put aside all my problems and worries and things I have to deal with for the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, hour, whatever it is, and just go deep into my practice. Just go into that feeling. And then going into that deep state of peace and freedom, not only do we recharge our soul, our self, we also get insights on exactly what to do to solve the problem. And in some cases, the problem actually just goes away by itself, which is great. But in other cases, we have to do something, and we'll get the ideas, the inspiration. We become attuned with whatever is the highest good for all. The power of thought. Let's just really bring this into our heart and soul. I'll read this one last time. You demonstrate success or failure according to your habitual trend of thought. In you, which is the stronger? Success thoughts or failure thoughts? If your mind is ordinarily in a negative state, an occasional positive thought is not sufficient to attract success. But if you think rightly, you will find your goal, even though you seem to be enveloped in darkness. You alone are responsible for yourself. No one else may answer for your deeds when the final reckoning comes. Your work in the world, in the sphere where your karma, your own past actions, has placed you, can be performed only by one person, yourself. And your work can only be called a success when, in some way, it serves your fellow man. Don't mentally review any problem constantly. Let it rest at times and it may work itself out. But see that you do not rest so long that your discrimination is lost. Rather, use these rest periods to go deep within the calm region of your inner self. Attuned with your soul, you'll be able to think correctly regarding everything you do. And if your thoughts or actions have gone astray, they can be realigned. This power of divine attunement can be achieved by practice and effort. Thank you for your beautiful presence. May you have powerful thoughts today and all the time, because everything can be turned around. You have a powerful mind and you can use it to reattune and realign your entire being. Thank you for being here. This is Your Wish Fulfilled. I'm Michael Mackintosh, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.